ran a few more tests on me, it was determined that the non-cancerous tumor growing on my brain wasn't having any real impact on my health, and that it would soon shrink down due to this other medicine I was currently taking. Also, I had now started talking on the phone to my psychiatrist and therapist, Dr. Kimberly Jackson. She was a wonderful young woman, and I was so relieved that I had me a black doctor who could help me get my mind right. She was helping me manage my mood. Now, the only thing that I had a tad concern about with was that she did tell me that there was a possibility that I'd experience some weird side effects from taking the medication. But baby, let me tell you something right now. If I started to feel any type of funniness going on in my mind, I was going to stop taking that mess. At that point, I just have to rely on a prayer and some herbs help me through. I had to this shit funny. Look, straight face. I had to say though, that one thing that I had me and relieved was the hallucinations. I had been experiencing being on that Mirapex drug weren't as bad as it could have been. Dr. Kimberly told me that those drugs could have turned me into a full-blown psychotic. After I got done taking my medicine, I made my way out of the house and hopped in my car. Strolling down the avenue, I pulled out my phone and dialed Alice to let her know I was on the way. She had been discharged from the hospital a few days ago, and we finally spoke by the phone last night. We talked at a great length about everything that had happened. She was such a true friend indeed, and told me that even when I was down and out, not knowing whether or not she was going to live or down, she was still worried about me. Her saying that made me feel so bad, and I felt like such a bad friend for not having the courage to visit her because of that man she was fucking on. But the fact that I had messed around with her fiance some years ago still bothered me. It was time to fess up to her and tell her everything if our relationship was going to survive. Vernetta! Alice cried when the door swung open and lunged at me, hugging her back tightly. We both cried in each other's arms. Girl, it's so good to see you. I sobbed as we rocked each other. She planted kisses all over me, then tugged me inside her house. Quickly walking over to the living room, we both sat down on the couch. Girl, you looking good. I commented when I noticed she was still in good shape and didn't even look like a heart attack did anything to her. Oh, so she was in a coma due to a heart attack. Forgot to mention that. Yes, shout out Alice for pulling through. Sis, stop it. The doctor told me I had lost like 15 pounds when I was in the hospital, Alice said, smiling. But I'm just glad to be alive by the grace of God. Yes, I am too, and I'm glad you made it, girl. I don't know what I would have done if you had passed on, I said. But I'm still so happy to see how everything turned out with your cancer. That would have been more devastating, Vernetta. See, God working some miracles throughout the world. Child, let me tell you about it. You ain't lying, she said. And she and I spent the next hour or so talking about all of our health woes. It's just so crazy how everything just went from good to bad to now being back to good, it seems. She commented. Yeah, well, that's just life. We gotta just do our part and get closer to God's will. I've been reading my Bible more and more, trying to get right with God, I said. I was being completely honest too. I had been missing going to church. I need to find me a good church home though, I said. Why? You don't like Pastor Meeks? He's such a wonderful man, Alice said as she flipped through some television channels on her TV. Yeah, he just be having folks up in his church too long. I love the Lord, but I can't be in no church for no 8 hours. I just need to hear the word and leave, I said, shaking my head. I couldn't tell her, but the real reason why I didn't want to go back to Plymouth, my old church, was because I had slept with the pastor. Don't judge me, but anyways, yeah, I'm thinking about going over to Pilgrim Baptist on 115th. Oh yeah, I love Dr. Franklin. He is a good preacher, Alice said. Then started laughing. This is so hilarious though. I would have never thought you and I would be having a conversation about church. Seemed like months ago we would have been talking about nothing but men. Yeah, you're right. But things gotta change. Vernetta gotta slow her roll. I nervously laughed. Now was the time I had to tell the truth. Butterflies filled the pits of my stomach, and I didn't know exactly what I was going to roll out this confession, but I had to get it off my chest. I had pretty much concluded that although I felt guilty for messing with this man years back, she had no right to hold a grudge against me because she wasn't dating him then. She hadn't known each other at that point. At least, I didn't think they did. I simply went on a cruise and met him. We did our thing. There was nothing more to it. Hell, he was so adamant that we have a relationship, but I didn't want one. And now I was glad that didn't happen. Truth be told, Alice would have never had a chance to meet him, and now experiencing true happiness. Hey, come through, Michael! And thank you, Fresh Wavy, for the 10,000 little points. Big shout out. Shout out Fresh Wavy. And who that is? We got Moose, E.S. Fire, Woe Henny, North Norms, and Miss Khalifa. Y'all better say thank you. Cause no ads for you, baby. Let's keep it going, shall we? Just like that, our conversation has shifted to the topic of Lamar. Lamar is such a good man, though I'm so glad I met him. Before I confessed, I just had to make sure that I wasn't going crazy and that this indeed was the same Lamar. I was pretty sure it was, though. He had a face I'd never forget. Even with taking that crazy medication, I could still vividly remember the good time that we had on that cruise. Woo, child, just thinking about it, Ooh, child, just thinking about it had me getting so moist. But just like that, I quickly deadened those Jezebelish thoughts. So, what exactly does this Mr. Lamar do again? I asked. You know, it was crazy because when you were in the hospital, he had security with him. He must have had some money. Alice's beaming smile suddenly turned flat and she pursed her lips shut. She cleared her throat and said, Well, I didn't want to tell you this, but Lamar used to be a big-time basketball player back in the late 70s, she said. Now, I never knew exactly how old Lamar was, but I knew he had to be in his late 50s, early 60s. He ain't look like it though. Didn't fuck like it either. Oh hell, stop thinking nasty, Vernetta. Y'all excuse me, but I couldn't help myself to think how he handled my body those nights on the cruise. So what are you trying to say? You acting all weird and whatnot, I said back to her. Well, he's a multi-millionaire, but didn't want him to flaunt his money around nobody. That just ain't my style, you know? What? I was shocked, but then not really. Something even back then told me Lamar had to have some money. But damn, millions? When you say multi-millionaire, what exactly do you mean? Well, I didn't want to ask him, but I just had to know. He's worth at least 20 million. My mouth flung wide open. Girl, you hit the damn jackpot. Excuse my language. I know, but what? I just know our lives are gonna change. Honestly, I didn't even know why he was so interested in me. I mean, we hadn't even had sex yet. He's been moving pretty quickly too. Damn, no sex? Now I was feeling even more guilty. Oh God, this was gonna be bad. I had it in me to suddenly not tell her anything, but then I heard a voice tell me it was still the right thing to do. I had to tell her, don't hold back. Vernetta, it is what it is. Well, I'm so glad you found a man who's gonna treat you right and treat you like a queen, girl. Alice, you deserve it. Yeah, I'm just still so nervous. We're actually supposed to have dinner later on tonight to talk about our wedding. He wants to elope too. Get married in Mexico. Then do it! Why you wanna have a big wedding any damn way? I just want all of my friends and family to be there. That is a good point, but still, take advantage of it, especially considering everything that happened. Yeah, well, that's a good point indeed. It's just the two of us. The two of us got quiet and then stared off at the television. Some court show was blaring on the television. Then the voice sounded off in my head again. Tell her, Vanetta. Tell her. I glanced over at her and gently placed my hand on her shoulder. Alice, I got something I need to tell you. Please, I do not want you to be mad at me. Tell me what? Her face twisted with confusion. Anxiety bubbled deep down in me. I closed my eyes and took a long breath. Well, it's complicated, but what? I went silent. Lord, please, I don't have the strength to do this, but the voice said again, just do it. You need to let go and let God. Come through, North Norms. Yes. Okay. Maggie Tomato, you better say thank you. Cause no ads for you, baby. Yup. Well, remember years ago when I went on that cruise? Yeah? Alice's brow raised out of curiosity. Please, Vanetta, just tell me what's going on. I don't like surprises like this. Well, suddenly Alice clenched her stomach and squeezed her eyes shut. Hold that thought, she muttered. She sounded anguished. Everything all right? I asked, sounding concerned. You got me nervous. Now my stomach hurting all of a sudden. Alice blasted up from the couch and needed to use the restroom. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. Is everything all right though? Do I need to call someone? No, I'm fine. It's just this medicine the doctor got me on sometimes causes extreme nausea. I'll be right back, she said. And then she quickly made her way towards the staircase. I followed her up the staircase, feeling very concerned. I asked, Are you sure though, girl? I'm sure, Alice said as she labored up the steps. Here, let me help you. As I got to her side and helped her up the stairs, Lord knows I didn't need to be running up and down the stairs like this. I was pretty certain the doctor would agree with me as well. Take your time, Alice, I told her. Then once we approached the door of the guest bathroom, she flew inside, closed the door, and locked it. I had to stand by and listen just to make sure she was okay. Although I wanted to listen to this voice and tell her the truth about everything, another voice in me told me to back. What? Another voice told me to back and down. This wasn't the right time. This would be absolutely devastating to her. Hell, she just got out the hospital. This type of confession would really break her heart. Still standing, guard near the door, I leaned against the door and listened to see if she was okay. Oh shit, she bellowed. Then I heard the sound of what had to be diarrhea blasting out of her rectum and into the toilet. Then a bomb of fart went off. My eyes widened out of disgust as I did not need to hear any of that. What kind of medicine did the doctor have her on? Her bowels sounded very loose. Now I thought about it, maybe I need to ask her what the doctor gave her because my bowels lately have been a bit clogged. Child, I haven't been to the bathroom in nearly 2 days. I tried everything. Prune juice, fiber, hell, I even took some milk and magnesia and nothing was working. Perhaps that was the side effects of these new medications. Dr. Kimberly and Dr. Chang Lee had me on some. Some moments later, I heard the sound of her spraying air freshener in the bathroom. Then, the sound of the toilet flushing all along with the faucet running escaped the door. Thank God nothing seriously was wrong. Just sounded like whatever she was taking gave her the runs. The bathroom door flung open and I took a few steps back because I'll be damned if I was going to smell what came up out of her. Sorry about that. Child, oh Lord, sometimes that medicine got my colon doing jumping jacks. It's okay, I need me something like that because my bowels are blocked up, I said. We both exploded into laughter, then slowly waltzed over near the staircase. We began to head back down, but then Alice turned and said, Please, just go ahead and tell me what happened. Did you catch something on the cruise or something? No, I snapped. Why would you say that? Well, what else could it be? I took another deep breath and exhaled. I slept with Lamar. I just let it out. I didn't know why it came out that way, but it did. Excuse me? Alex's face suddenly turned sour. What did you say? Girl, please don't be mad at me. I had messed around with Lamar while I was on that cruise. Alice stood